Hey, grace and peace to y'all. Captain Roger. Let's go for a walk. Now, you might be able to tell from my background. I'm not walking outside today. I'm walking inside. It's cold out there. Thought it might be nice to be warm. But let's talk about something at the end of the book of Leviticus. Now, throughout the book, as God has laid out what it meant for people to walk with him and the great blessings that came or would come if people followed his decrees, I'm sure people found that exciting. We find that exciting. When we preach, these are the passages we tend to focus on. As preachers, people love to hear God's promises. If you do this, I promise this will come to you. And sometimes people take those and they twist them a little bit to make them sound like, you could buy your salvation or somehow bring about a great blessing of wealth or property or whatever. I think you get my point. But very rarely does anyone preach about what happens at the very end of the book. At the very end, God lays out what happens if people don't follow his decrees, if they don't listen to the things that he has to tell them. And among those things, again and again, he says, if you set yourself against me, this is what will happen to you. And it's always horrible. You read the last book of Leviticus, there's just one horrible thing after another. Your enemies are going to overwhelm you. Wild animals are going to come and rob you of your children. Plagues are going to descend on your cities. It's horrible. And again, he says, if you don't heed my warnings and turn back to me, this is what will happen. But, and there's a reason I'm bringing this up, not just to bring you down, not to try to guilt anyone to anything. After God goes through like a dozen of these scenarios where he says this horrible thing is going to happen, and if you still don't turn, then this horrible thing is going to happen, and if you still don't turn, then this horrible thing is going to happen. After he goes through all of these, there's a but. Right at the end he says, but if you will just turn back to me, if you'll just walk with me, then I can remember my covenant. I can remember my promises. I can remember the good things that I want to bless you with. You just have to walk with me. As we walk with God, it should be something that we do for the joy of walking. It really should. But if you need to know that there's reward, well, fine. God promises reward for everyone who walks with him. I can promise you reward. I can't promise you money. I can't promise you land. I can't promise you prosperity. But I can promise you joy. I have never found any shortage of joy in walking with God. If you will remember his ways and walk with him, he will bless you. It doesn't matter who you are, or where you are, how far you've gone away from the path that he had laid out for you. That's what that but's for. No matter who or where you've got to, no matter how horrible the things you may have done or that have been done to you, if you will just turn back to God, he has blessings that he wants to give you. Claim your blessings. I'm going to claim the blessing of finishing my indoor walk. Grace and peace to you all today.